Hi everyone. Yesterday I learned how to macrame wrap crystals and I was posting them on Instagram because I was like, oh, this is cool, this is easy. You can even wrap sea glass. I am hanging these on my window because I get really nice light, and when the light comes through they make little rainbows, and if you ding the crystals they spin and the light goes everywhere, so it's really cool. So I'm going to show you how to wrap these crystals. So to do this you really only need 3 supplies. You need scissors, the crystal, stone, or whatever you want to wrap, and then 3 lengths of cord that are all the same size. So I'm using hemp cord. It is a bit thick. I would like to get some thinner string in the future, but right now this is what I'm working with, and I think the look is kind of cool and like boho indie witch. I already cut my string, so I have my first length. So you're going to want to take your string, your first piece, and fold it in half so it's evenly divided. And now you take your crystal and you find where you want the base to be. So I want it to hang upside down like this. So I'm going to take the bottom bit right here and put the string together, and you're going to find out the dimensions of the bottom where you're going to hold the crystal in. So since this has a double terminated point, I'm just going to kind of set that right in the middle, right here. So now that you have this, you're going to take the string, make sure you don't lose your spot, especially if you have a smaller crystal. Then if the bottom loop is too large, then the entire thing will fall out. And you don't want that, especially if you're going to wear this as jewelry. So you just do a normal knot like that and tighten it, but make sure to check to see if it's an okay size before you tighten it for good. There we go. So now I'm taking my second bit of string. I'm also going to fold it in half so we get that same shape as we did with the first cord. And now with this piece, you're going to hold it here and you're going to loop it in and do one of those easy knots. So you just kind of fold the string back on itself like this. Then you pull the tail, through and tighten it. Don't tighten it so tight that you can't move it because you might want to adjust it in a moment. Then take your third bit of string, and honestly you can do this with however many pieces you want. I'm lazy, so I'm using 3, but I've used 2 yesterday, and the result was a little too fragile, so I feel like 3 is a good number, and it just kind of cuts down on your workload. So you're going to do that same exact knot, just putting the ends of the string through the new loop. And pulling it tight-ish. So now you have this triangle shape, and you want everything to be pretty even, like that. Now you're going to fit that onto the crystal as you had it. Now this is the part that I was scared about, but it's literally so easy. So you divide up your string. Now you have 2 strands per knot. So you want to take one of the strands closest to another strand from a different knot, and you're gonna find where you want the netting to sit. So you kind of pinch it, find where you want, and you're just going to do the same exact thing as you did with the original loop. So you take that, and then you just do a normal knot. I think it's called an overhand knot. I feel like a Boy Scout. And you pull it tight like that. I like everything to look pretty even in the same size, so you want to reference the shape and the size. You put it back on, and then you hold it down to see if that's too big or too small. I'm happy with that. I don't like the knots to be so tiny that the netting engulfs the entire crystal and you can't see it. So now you're just going to do the same with the other pieces of string. Find where you want it, then tie it off. Now do that with the last pair of string. Now you have the first layer done, and you can see how it's falling like a net. And when you put it back on your crystal or stone, find the middle bit, the first bottom netting. And you can see how that netting is starting to hold the crystal. So you're just going to continue this process up the stone, taking 2 separate strands from 2 different knots, finding where you want to tie them, and then tying them off. So I've pinched it where I want. Now I'm gonna bring the string off the crystal again, literally the same exact process as before, and just tie it around. And now just keep doing that up the crystal until the entire thing is wrapped, and I will come back when mine's done. Now we have the second level of knots done, and you can see how the crystal is nice and snug in there. And now I'm debating if I want to do a third layer of knots or just tie it off here. I think I'm going to do one more short layer of knots. My third layer of knots is done, and I put the crystal back into the netting, and you're just going to have to adjust it because I always forget which part I started on, so just kind of turn it around, move the netting to get into the groove of the crystal or wherever you want the bottom to be, and just see where it looks best. I am okay with this just because it's going on my window to catch light. So because it's just going on my window, I'm not that concerned with how the tie-up on the top is going to be. But if I were to wear this as a necklace, I would definitely take my time and make it really pretty. Oh, to finish it off, the easy way, I'm just twisting the cords, and I'm going to make a little knot at the top. It's like a normal knot. Pull it down, get all of your cords even, make sure all of them are nice and tight. And there we go. Now I'm going to hang it on my window and show you how it looks. Here it is next to all my other crystals. I think they look really cool. Some of them are wire wrapped, but I'm actually not that good at wire wrapping, so that's why I wanted to learn how to wrap with macrame techniques. And here it is. I think it's super cool.